Hi everybody, welcome to the Messy Cook by Dale. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be doing a great recipe for this time of the year. It's comfort food at its best. It's Karen, a friend of mine from Bronzes Bishop, where I get my hair done, Colin, and we're really have a great friendship, and she showed me this recipe and I thought, okay, I'm going to do it for her. So this is for Karen. So these are cabbage rolls. Traditional. So it starts off with a pound of lean ground beef or lamb or veal. I'm using beef because I like beef. This is lean. I have 2 pounds in here because I'm doubling the recipe because I'm giving some stuff to our son and daughter-in-law and a friend of ours. So they're getting a meal too, so I doubled the recipe. So this is 2 pounds of ground beef. You'll use 1. Please always check the recipe below in the comments because sometimes I might forget an ingredient or I might double it. So if you want to single it, which makes 12 cabbage rolls, which is plenty. So you should follow the recipe below. So we have the meat in here. We're going to add crushed up garlic. We're going to add grated onion to that. We're going to add 2 eggs. I was told by a chef, not personally, on YouTube, that you should be cracking your eggs on something flat, not on the side of the dish, because you're less likely to get any shell in it, and there's some bacteria that's on the shell and whatever. Okay, 2 eggs, where it's 1, again, to follow the recipe underneath. Let's have some cooked rice, a cup of cooked rice. I'm putting 2, that goes in there. This makes a lot. And I'm going to put in a tablespoon of salt, or a teaspoon of salt, or salt. I'm going to put a little more salt to taste. And Mrs. Dash's, the recipe calls for Mrs. Dash seasoning spices. So I made my own, and the recipe is below as well. I like to control how much sodium or whatever is in it, so I made it myself. And you put it in an airtight container, and it'll last like any of your other spices. So we're going to put in 2 teaspoons for my recipe, 1 for yours. 2 spoons of Mrs. Dash. And I think that is it. Now what I do have, I have some milk here, and I'm gonna have to do this by hand. I have some milk here which I will use if I need to moisten the mixture up. We'll see how that goes. So we're gonna give it a good mix. This is comfort food. My mother used to make this for us. A very similar recipe, and we used to love it. But you know, it's kind of labor intensive, you know. But I give yourself a Saturday or a Sunday or a weekday if you're home, and just spend some time doing it. And they freeze extremely well, so you can make a whole bunch and have them for the for another time. Okay, that looks good. Okay, let me just wipe my hands. Next, let me get rid of this stuff. And I'm not going to add any water or milk, milk I mean, because it looks really nice and moist as it is. Let me get rid of this and this and this and this. All right. Now we're going to do the cabbage. Now I bought a really big cabbage, and I took a paring knife and I scored the root out of it, or the core. I scored it out. I took it out, cleaned it up a little bit. Then I put it very gingerly into very hot boiling water on the stove, the cabbage. And as soon as the leaves were able to be released from the cabbage itself, I took them off, and it took about 10-15 minutes or whatever, but you keep putting it back in until the leaves come off pretty easily. All right, so I'm just going to get my cutter my cutting board. And so what you're going to do, Dan, you want to come in here real close? Here's the rib, which is really fibrous and not really great to eat. So I'm going to cut that out like this. And I'm going to start rolling. This is a huge one. And you're going to put in just about, I don't know, a big heaping spoonful, maybe a little more because this is a really big one, like this. And you're going to, a little more, I think. It's a big one. Okay, like this. And then you're going to fold it in and you're going to roll it up like this. And there you have it. So I'm going to put in here, what I have is 3 cans of soup, tomato soup. You can make your own soup. There's a recipe that I made some a little while ago. You can make your own, or you can buy the Campbell's or whatever brand you want of the tomato soup. And I put in a 680 milliliters of crushed, what are these, tomatoes, but they're even more than crushed. They're sieved, you know, they're really, really small. So I'm going to put a little bit of this at the bottom of the pan. You get a nice roasting pan like this, casserole. Put a little bit at the bottom here. And then you put in that one. Let's do another one. Take out the rib. Put in some of the mixture. Give it a roll. It's really quite easy. It's almost like making soft tacos or whatever. And you always put the folded side down into there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish these up, and then I'm going to put some sauce on top of them. I'm going to put aluminum foil on top, and I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 90 minutes to 2 hours. You check to see if it looks right. The meat inside has to be done, obviously. I have 60 to 120 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so I'll see you back when this is all done. I think I told you everything. So yeah, single layer, aluminum foil in the oven, and you're good to go. All right, we'll see you in a few. You put the sauce on top before? You put a little bit of sauce on top. You just spray the sauce on top like you would a lasagna or manicotti or whatever. You do that, and you're good to go. All right, so we'll see you in a bit. Hi everybody, welcome back. Here it is, Karen's cabbage rolls. Thank you so much, Karen, for sharing this with me, and then me sharing it with all of you. It's so fantastic. The apartment smells absolutely beautiful. The smell just feels like fall, and it feels like good home cooking. All right, so I want to quickly go over what we did. A single layer or a small bit of sauce at the bottom, a single layer of the cabbage roll, sauce on top, enough sauce to cover, aluminum foil, shove it in the oven for about 2 hours at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. When you bring it out, let it sit for a bit because it's screaming hot, and let's try it. Beautiful. Looks good. A little bit of the parsley on top just for to make it look pretty. I decided to go with beer today because beer really goes with this kind of comfort food. So let's give it a try. Delicious. Karen, thank you. This is so good. Comfort food at its best. All right, so I hope you try this. It's really good. A lot of effort, but it's worth every minute of it. All right, so I'm going to leave you with this. Thanks for hanging out with me. Remember to wear your mask, social distance. We're still in this mess. Try to be patient. Try to be kind, especially. Try to buy Canadian or local. That is really important. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate the support. And most of all, forget the mess. Let's eat. Yummy. So good.